Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so good afternoon and welcome back to the class. So I received this WhatsApp message yesterday. So I think it is better to have discussion in the class rather than writing the answers in the WhatsApp. So, so do you want to have class tests or not? I think I request all of you to tell what you want. Okay, so WhatsApp is not a very, easy thing to deal with this problem. It's better to discuss in the class. Okay, so I gave you all the options, but it seems that there is still some issues. So, okay. So those of you who I am still waiting if some more people would join actually, that would be easier, because I received some comments who most of the students are not there in the class at all. So I think it's a better idea to have the quizzes. So we can take quizzes for few students every day, until, I mean, until the end. So that will cover everybody. And I believe some of you might have some problems in the connection, etc., etc. So we can try each day, all the classes we can have. What is the problem? Is there a problem with this mode? Let us raise the questions. Please talk.
Sir, we don't mind having a class test. The only thing was that because some people have classes during that time, or they are not able, they feel that one whole 1 hour will not be enough. So that is why we suggested that if you could increase the duration to 24 hours, then people can attempt the paper easily.
Yeah, that you have written. I have seen, and many of your friends have actually vouched for that. I take that point. Do you have anything more to add to this, or whatever has been written in the WhatsApp? Okay. So what I want to say is that, we can be reasonable. Yeah, I think first of all we have been discussing this for some time. Then we came to this point, and just before the exam date, we have this kind of things coming up in your minds. I fully sympathize with all of you that you have all these concerns. But 3 hours, 24 hours, is it really, do you really think that that is the way an exam should be conducted? What is the meaning of 24-hour giving time to an exam? We all know what happens, right? What is the purpose of an exam then? And Surbi, I understand your position being a representative in the class. The recorded fact is that after we discuss these assignment issues, I have posted assignments and not a single student has posted assignment. Do you want the class to be like this? Do you want me to say that there is no class and everybody works with 20 marks? I can do that. I can do that just like I have posted 30 marks without taking any cognizance of your attendance, without taking any cognizance of your assignments. Now you want to alleviate this class tests too, for which is for 20 marks. This is all it counts to. The giving 24 hours to an examination like this means what? So I think, let us have some decency and decorum and morality in the class. It is not only getting A plus, there has to be some morality also in the class, right? So that's why I am proposing that have the quizzes in the class. What is the difficulty? Who is against the quiz in the class? And for what concern? Let us raise this voice. How many people have problems with quizzes in the class? Let us see. I told that if there is a necessity, see, first of all, the questions would not be such of that fashion that you have to struggle for, you have to spend 24 hours. Okay, even if it is, I said that, these questions can be finished by 10, 20 30 minutes at most. And we have said, okay, 1 hour ठीक नहीं है तो चलो 1.5 घंटा लगा देंगे. And even if there is problem, we can extend the time for those people who really need the time. Is that very unreasonable? And now you want me to make it 3 hours and 24 hours?
So,
Yes,
if we extend for half an hour more, we have a class. Physics major people have a class just after that. So we from 6 to 7. So we asked for 3 hours.
Okay, so then we can have an examination in a time when you do not have a class, so that you can uninterrupted way sit down for 2 hours, right?
Yes, sir.
And these questions, I can tell you, I mean, of course, it is not a fair way to say that questions can be finished by that many times. That is not the right way. But I mean, normal, there is something called standard, right? Be it national standard, be it international standard, be it local standard, I do not know what can be our standard. But by any standard, I can tell you that these questions which would be given to you cannot take more than half an hour. I mean, there is that also we should be mindful about that. I am fully aware of your concerns. So, I mean, that is why you have also even said that there will be best of two. Sorry, best of two, yes. I mean, how much more we can do it? Is it not enough? Then how are you going to take the end sem examination when it, I mean, although it has not been finalized, but it is, I guess, the popular modality which is coming at about 1.5 hours or something like this, that you have to finish in time. So what is going to happen to the end sem then? Right? You know that the end sem is have to be conducted, right? And there is no agency, so we have to work out together, keeping the interests of both parties, right? तो उसके लिए क्या होगा फिर 24 घंटा का टाइम होगा. Yes, so please say, even today, and you know, I mean, I hope some of you are looking at these classes, you know, 1/4 of the students are only coming in the class. I have been watching this for maybe 1.5 months because the YouTube videos are there. All right. So that's why I suggest that let us have a quiz. You know, I think that is the best way to deal with this problem. We can have quizzes every day so that whoever, if there are some people who cannot attend the class for poor connectivity or anything, we can have 10 chances for them. Is not it okay? Please.
Sir, can we try the class test tomorrow for 1.5 2 hours? And
No,
if that does not
no, if somebody has exam on that 7 o'clock, I think that, sorry, 6 o'clock, 5 to 6, you have put the test. And then if somebody has class at 6 o'clock, I really do not think that's a right way to do it, actually. How many people have classes after 6 o'clock?
So the physics major people.
How many physics major students are here? Do you know? I mean, I'm not asking you, but anybody who is from physics, how many of you are there?
Sir, 3 people.
Abhilipsa, and who are the other people?
Aditi and Asis.
Abhilipsa, Aditi, and Asis. Okay. So what we can do is that maybe we can do it in, so let us do it on Friday, Saturday. What about Saturday? Let us have this.
So Saturday we have an exam.
Yeah, but we also have to give take an exam for every course, right? In this course, we have never taken an exam.
Yes, sir.
So then how about from 7, sir, tomorrow itself?
Bolo.
7 p.m. to 8:30, 9 p.m.
When?
Tomorrow, sir, tomorrow. Because 6 to 7.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, we don't have class that time. We don't have any class or anything that time. So
okay, that's also okay.
Yes, sir.
If everybody agrees, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I request everyone to please pitch in. If you have any issue, please say it right now.
There are 25 students in the class. I really want you to see, it is very frustrating for me to ask again and again, but please raise your voice. We are not here to harm you. We are here to listen to your consents. Yes, Madhur says, but anybody who has problem, please speak now. I request you to speak. Or if you don't want to speak, even write in the chat box. That's also fine. Okay. Tomorrow 7 to 9 is fine. It's fine. Yes, 7 to 9. Okay. I want others people also to comment. Anybody? Ryan, is that okay with you? Shomalika, or do you have any other concern? Okay, it seems that many people, it seems it is fine. Okay. So we'll do it at tomorrow 7 o'clock. Okay. Yes, sir, it is fine. Okay. Very good. So we'll do it tomorrow, fine. And anyway, you have one more exams also, right? So we'll make it 20 marks and then you'll do that. And in the next week, we'll probably have that. But I request you that in the next, it will be of 20 marks. Yes, because you have said that best of 2. And we cannot just have one, we cannot have so many tests, right? There is no time for 4 tests. So it is better to have one for 20 marks, okay? And then we'll have another one in the next week. That's the modality we have decided earlier. If my memory is not betraying me, right? So then you can choose the one whichever is good for you. All right? And I would request that in the next one, you please increase your lectures, because very soon you are going to appear for the NSAM. Right? Okay. Anybody has any more thing to say? Let me see. Surabhi, is that reasonable?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And sir, for next week as well, let us fix it right now so that everyone knows, and even if
Yeah,
there
yeah.
are other tests, they can decide accordingly.
Okay, so let us discuss that also.
So because it will be of the same format, so
Yeah.
I suppose
As you can see, I have absolutely no problem unless you are doing at morning 9 o'clock. That's the only request I have. But almost any time is good for me. You just fix your time.
sir, we can just do it next week, same time, sir.
Same
As
time. Okay.
we can do it again.
I have no problem. Do you agree, the rest of the class, do you agree that in the next week also we can have the class tests in the same time and same date? That means Thursday 7 to 9, right?
Yes, sir.
Thursday 7 to 9. Do you agree for the class tests in the next week also? Yes, sir. Advait says school karni, yes. Okay, sir, no problem.
Sir, Thursday we have organic test
Bolo? Yes.
from 6 o'clock.
From 6, okay.
So from 7 o'clock, like 2 consecutive tests will be difficult.
Okay. So, okay. So, you want to do it on Wednesday, Tuesday? Which day is good then, Rohan?
So Wednesday is also we have a test. Um,
So we can keep it on Saturday, the coming Saturday, next Saturday.
um, is it possible
Next
for a
Saturday.
Sunday? Sunday?
Yeah,
Yes,
fine, Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, any of the days.
Saturday we also have a test. Okay.
Saturday also you have. So you see, it is very reasonable that people are having tests on Saturday, because we do not have, I mean, some of you have so many classes and it becomes difficult. So okay, once in a while we may have to do that. I will do that. That's okay. So maybe we can put it like this. So why don't this time, this next class, because we may arbitrarily fix it, but then somebody will say that no, there is some problem, there is some problem. So I think it is better that we leave it that probably Saturday is the most tentative date, okay? But you can decide internally and then we can finalize it later. Let us keep it like that.
Okay, sir.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So just discuss with your class and whoever says fine, any time is fine for me. Just don't do it at morning 9 or 10 o'clock. That's all. Okay? Any day, any time, you just do it. Okay? Okay. Is everybody okay with this resolution? Then we can move for the today's class. Rohan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ठीक है तो नसीम सिराज came and left. Okay. चलो ठीक है. And so I guess we can begin our class today. So I think we were discussing the spin and we have explained what is the implication of spin for an one electron atom or one electron system, right? I hope you remember all the stuff. So, but today we want to discuss what is the requirement in the wave function of a many particle system. The requirement in the wave function, the requirement in the wave function in a many particle system. That is the question. So, and of course, when you say many particle, what is implied? It is implied that it is a collection of indistinguishable particle. That is what is the many particle. That means it is not a system of so many cows and dogs together. It's a collection of so many cows only. It's a collection of so many dogs only. It's a collection of so many bricks. It's a collection of so much of sand. It's a collection of human beings. It's a collection of clusters. That's all. So that's why we stress that indistinguishable particles. So don't you see that this is a very, very fundamental question. It has nothing to do with separately called physics, chemistry, or biology, or mathematics. It's a fundamental understanding of the nature, right? So what is the condition on the wave function of a collection of indistinguishable particles? I have said particles. There are keywords here. Particle. I have said wave function. I have said many, and then as a further clarification, I have also said that it is a collection of indistinguishable particles. Although there are many keywords, but eventually it is representing a very common system in the universe. Almost everything belongs to this category actually. That's why we start. So no wonder it will also cover a collection of indistinguishable electrons, a collection of indistinguishable atoms, a collection of indistinguishable molecules, right? So before we discuss this, so let me see what we know about. We have already learned a lot of things about the wave function, right? So can somebody tell me what are those conditions and what new thing we probably add? Did not you think that this question has been answered in the first page of quantum mechanics books? In the very first lecture में हम लोग क्या discuss किए फिर? This is what we have discussed, that what are the conditions in the wave function. So what is new stuff that we are going to discuss at this point when you thought that the story is over? That's why we need to realize what we have already discussed and what is the new stuff that we can actually talk about? So what is the condition in the wave function? Can you please write in the, what is that called, chat box, or somebody please can say? Ashish, can you summarize what is the condition in the wave function?
Sir, the wave function should be normalizable.
Okay.
It should be continuous, and the first derivative also should be continuous.
Let me also remind one thing, although I am not very strict, but you understand that in given the circumstances, it has been always mentioned that the continuous evaluation, a continuous evaluation is actually implicit in the discussion in the class, a participation in the class. Otherwise, continuous evaluation kya hai? There is no restriction on attendance. There is no restriction in the assignment. The only 2 class tests. Is this a continuous evaluation process? Right? So it is, when it becomes a part of our life to have discussion or questions, answers, right? So you said that, so please respond. Normalizable. What is the second you said, Ashish?
Sir, the wave function should be continuous.
Wave function should be continuous. What else?
The first derivative should be also continuous.
First derivative should be also continuous. You're just writing the big points. First derivative also continuous. What else? Who can add to what he has said?
So they are the solution of the Schrodinger equation.
That's true. But that is not a restriction in the wave function. That is
Okay,
not
sir.
a restriction. This information is used, must satisfy the boundary condition. Very good. All these are used in the solution of the Schrodinger equation, Tahiti. It is not that you first say that this is the condition and Schrodinger equation, not that you take the Schrodinger equation to impose this. In order to solve the Schrodinger equation, you impose these conditions. Clear? Okay. Must satisfy the boundary condition. That's right. There are some other conditions too. Boundary conditions. और क्या है? Very, very important. Who can add? Come on. Very important points you are missing. Must be finite everywhere. Okay. और क्या है? You have also said that wave function must be single valued. Right? You have used that. Right? It must be single valued. That means you cannot have a wave function which is like this. You cannot have a wave function to be like this because this guy has many values at a particular point. Wave function can have only single values. So that's why you have used the term called single valued wave function, right? These are more or less the big restrictions in the wave function that you have. So are these restrictions true for one particle, two particle, or everybody? They are true for everybody, either for one particle or a collection of identical particles, right? Yes? Suranjana? Are they true for one person or all collection of particles? So they are actually the cornerstones of the wave function, of a valid wave function in a given system. It may be one particle, it may be more than one particle, right? Now, what is this guy going to tell you? This guy is going to give us something very interesting. So let us see. So suppose I have a wave function, I have a collection of particles. So let us understand the notation. What is Q? Q is actually representing the joint, the coordinates of a particle. Q is representing the coordinates of a particle. Now, we are not explicitly mentioning what is the coordinates. We will assume that it is only position, right, at this point, because we have not said anything about the, suppose we did not know anything about spin. Okay? Even without knowing spin, let us see what condition we must put or we must build in the wave function to be a satisfactory wave function. So we have a collection of n particles whose coordinates can be represented by the variables q1, q2, q3 up to qn. So the wave function of such a particle can be written like this. So that is the many particle wave function of the collection of particles. A very important understanding in this context is that there is something called exchange of particles. Everybody knows what is exchange operator? Everybody knows what is exchange? I am sure all of you have studied exchange in one way or another. Can somebody tell me what is exchange? In this case, what is the meaning of exchange? We bolo? What is the meaning of exchange? How do I understand the exchange? This is a very coordinates of two particles exchanging. Yes, then what happens? What happens and what has to happen? Madhur. Somebody else is stuck. If the two particles coordinate, yes, Tahiti?
Sir, if when the coordinates are exchanged, when for the particle P1, if we have the initial coordinates as R1, then and for particle P2, if we have initial coordinate R2, then for particle P1 we will get the coordinate R2, and for particle P2 it will become R1.
So that is exchange operator. I write what you have said. So if I exchange the particles 1, 2, 3 or 1 any such arbitrary, you said that what has, that means particle, the particle 1, 2, 4 to become Q2, Q1 if I do an exchange operator, and the remaining ones remain same. This is what you said, right?
Sir, it is only for, I said only for two particles.
Particles, one and operated P1 to exchange operator P1 to function. Is it not the say, sir, my concern is bad? Okay, you can, your writing is good. I cannot hear. Why? Oh my God. Everybody else can hear? This is a very important discussion in the class, you know. You can forget a lot of things, but you should not forget this today's restrictions in the wave function. So why don't somebody else please speak? The video is blurry. Okay. Video, video blurry hai to hai, I do not know how to fix it, because why is the video blurry? Is video blurry to everybody? It's clear now. Maybe I was standing outside. Okay. I was standing outside the frame, you know. Okay. So, okay. So, P12 operator, you operate on this wave function. So, you have exchanged the electrons 1 and 2. That is what it means, right? Tahiti, you can see now. So, now.
Yes.
But what did you mean something else?
No, sir.
Sure?
But sir, electrons are all same, so I don't
Yeah.
think this will make a big difference here.
Okay, good one. But the meaning of P12 is this, right? Whether it makes a difference or not, that is what we want to see. But the
Yes,
meaning of
sir.
P12 is this, right?
Yes, sir.
So what will happen if I make P13? I can write equivalent expressions like this.
Yes, sir.
And if the electrons, if the particles are on in this, you realize that 1, 2 and 1, 3 is not important. What is important that it has to be true for every single independent pair. So that's why I am going to write it for Ij. That means for every, it has to be true for every it has to be valid for every single independent pair. That means every pair. So I can write arbitrarily Ij. At this point we are discussing what is the meaning of P exchange. Uska consequence kya hai, that we are going to see it later. So Ki Qj, and so that means I will write Q1, Q2, everything remains same. This operator only exchange the electrons, sorry, particles I to J and J to I. Okay? And you realize that it has to be true for every single pair. Now, I think just like Tahiti was telling that I do not think that it some big difference or something. What did you say? What did you say? Can you say it again, please?
Sir, both the electrons are same. So if we exchange the coordinates, then we won't, as they are indistinguishable, we won't be able to tell that it has exchanged.
So everything is correct in your statement, but I do not like the word electrons because we have not said electrons. We have said the particles. Okay? So don't
Okay,
fix.
sir. Okay, sir. I didn't. I thought it was for electrons. Okay.
No, it is not. That is why that is a very big mistake if you are thinking like that. This will give you what is the definition of an electron. How can you start with electron? No. This is a great, one of the greatest achievements of human ingenuity, you know. You should realize we started with the particles, not electrons. Electrons क्या है उसका definition अभी आएगा. ठीक है? So, but essentially what she is saying is that, of course, it is common sense, and Suranjana is also writing, but the particles are indistinguishable. What is the meaning is that, of course, if the two particles are exchanged, how can it actually matter? The questions that you are raising is that, how can anything be different from the original configuration? If I call the configuration, you know, so naturally, of course, there cannot be any change in the state of the system. जो तुम बोल रहे हो जे, I don't think there will be some changes. That means in mathematical terms and physical terms, what you are meaning is that the state of the wave function cannot be different if I exchange any arbitrary pair of particles. That is what you are actually telling, and which is the case. You understand? Tahiti, now you understand what is the meaning. The state of the
Yes,
system.
sir. Yes, sir.
So what is the meaning of state of the system? That means the state of the system is represented by what? State of the system is represented by the wave function. Right? So that means you say that, so if I say psi q1, q2, qi, qj, and qn, if I take this wave function for a given system, and if I represent the same system by another wave function which is called, which is represented by psi q1, q2, q1, q2, qj, qj, qi, qn. Then, if the state of the system is not changed by this exchange, wave function, these two wave functions are representing the same state. That is what is the meaning. You understand? What does it mean further? That further means that if you calculate the wave function by this wave function or this wave function, your properties are not going to be changed. They are invariant. We mathematically say it is invariant to the exchange of particles. समझ है? So all of you who are studying physics, you know that there is a very important meaning attached to the word invariant, right? So this exchange of coordinates for two arbitrary particles in a collection of particles cannot change the wave function. ठीक है? Now this little understanding give us, so I have, how do I understand the change in the coordinates? I invented an operator called Pij. So I operated Pij on this wave function, and this gave me this wave function. This operator gave me this wave function. Now, in order to proceed further, we need to understand what are the properties of this operator. What are the properties of the exchange operator? Can somebody tell me? There are many properties, but we are interested only the very basic properties. In this class, we are only interested in the basic stuff, no advanced hi-fi stuff. So what are the basic properties of the exchange operator? Who can say? Okay, very simple properties exist. You can see that if you operate this wave function again on, if you operate Pij on this wave function, you will get back the original wave function, right? So 2 times operating the operator on the wave function will give you back the original function. So that's a very important property. What is the meaning of that? Let us see. So suppose, so P12, or you can write Ij, okay? So P12, because if it is valid for 1, 2, it has to be valid for every pair. So with this understanding we write. So suppose, so this Wi, so Pi2, because wave function satisfies an eigenvalue equation, Schrodinger equation, I would like to see what are the eigenvalues and eigenfunctions of the exchange operator. That I want to see. How do I see? I take an wave function, Wi. Wi can be a function like this. I don't want to write all this stuff, right? So it can be a Wi. So if it is an eigenvalue equation, it satisfies this equation with its eigenvalue and eigenfunction, right? I operate P12 again on this wave function. ठीक है? You understand? Everybody? What is the left side? Can somebody tell me what will happen to the left side? What will happen to the right side? Who can say? Left hand side is Wi again. That's right. Because P12 operating on Wi, and then that thing will be operated by P12, and we have seen that it gives you back the original function. So P12 square Wi is nothing but Wi. Is that clear? Pij operating on this function, you got this function. And then, so let me write it. Pij operating on this function, you get this function, right? Now you operate Pij again on this function, because that is what is the meaning of Pij. So Pij means first you get Pij, you got this function. There is another Pij in the left hand side, you write. But then if you do this, then you get nothing but the original function back. These are very simple stuff, but you must be clear with your conceptions. Okay, so that is how we can write this P1 to P1 to Wi is nothing but Wi. Right? What is in the right side? Ci square Wi. That's right. Why? Because P1 to Ci Wi is equal to Ci. This is an eigenvalue. So P1 to Wi. But then this is Ci Wi. So that means Ci square Wi. Very simple algebra. But what is the meaning? So that means I see that Wi is the eigenfunction. So Ci square, Ci is the original eigenvalue of the, we wanted to find out what is Ci. Ci is the eigenvalue of the P12 operator operating on Wi, right? So, but I see that there is something interesting from this equation. What it means, Madhur? Who can say? Please write or speak. Ci mod square, Ci mod Ci is equal to 1. So how many values you have for the Ci? I see that Ci square is equal to 1, right? If Ci is equal to Ci square is equal to 1, what are the values of Ci? Suranjana says 2. What are those values? 1 and minus 1. Fantastic. 1 and minus 1. This little thing has given you 1 and minus 1 as eigenvalues of Ci. Actually, remember again and again, there is nothing that we have spoken about the particles. This is a fundamental law of nature. We have not said electron, proton, neutron, boson, hana. Nothing has been said. Sure? And this is really a very, very fascinating thing, and that is where you should know that our country can be very proud of about this stuff. So you have said that Ci has an eigenvalue of +1 and -1. Sorry, not Ci, Pij operator can have eigenvalues of +1 and -1. What it means, let us see. If Pi is having if Pi eigenvalue is +1, what is the meaning of that? Who can say? How do I write it in mathematical terms? And then how do I understand the physics behind it? So Pi is +1. +1 means what? It satisfies. So let us call. So the eigenvalue, let us follow this. Okay. So I call this eigenvalue. I give two names following your book. So +1 eigenvalue is actually I am giving a function. So that is called W plus. That means Q1, Q2, Q. I just write Q and chota karke. Okay. It says that P1 to W plus is satisfying an eigenvalue equation with an eigenvalue of +1. First, we are looking at the +1. That means I can write it +1 and this function will be returned back. Is that agreed? Okay? So, Mona Lisa, you agree with this equation? Hello? Okay. So now, if that is the case, what is the connection between Q2, Q1? Because I have worked with only P12. If that is the case, then I can write that. So W plus Q1 Q2 is equal to W plus Q2 Q1 up to Qn. What is the meaning of these two equations? These two meanings, in fact, it is better to write this side as 2 and 1. Why? So what is the meaning of this? That means I have taken the plus 1 eigenvalue. That eigenvalue equation is given by this. P12 operating on W function, W plus function, giving me eigenvalue plus 1, returning back the same function. But the function W plus, what is the meaning of this equation in words? ये तो मैथमेटिकली ठीक है, आइगन वैल्यू इक्वेशन है, पर उसका मीनिंग क्या है? That means you have this guy is the eigenvalue equation. This is the meaning of that equation translated into equations. What is the meaning? Now you put words into this equation. That means if it is an eigenvalue equation with a plus 1 eigenfunction, that means W plus Q2 Q1 is equal to plus 1. That is the meaning. That is why we always have problems. W plus Q2 Q1 Q3 Qn is going to give you the same function with a plus sign, W plus Q1 Q2 Qn Q2. That means if you change the function, so this collection of function, let us write the second one, then we'll come to their discussion. What about the minus 1 eigenfunction? So that means I give you one function name called W minus Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn. And again I operate the same function P12. What will happen to this equation? Who can say? What will happen to this equation? What will happen to the equation? Please write, somebody. Minus 1 W minus. Very good. Because this time we have chosen minus 1 and this has to give you back very good. Now what is the meaning of this? Then how do I understand this function whose exchange of particles 1 and 2 have been swapped, and its connection to the original function which is W minus Q1 Q2 Q3. That means that will be written as minus W minus Q1 Q2 Q3 up to Qn. These four equations are very, very interesting if you look at it. You understand? Make sure that you understand this stuff, So W minus Q2 Q1 is actually minus 1 W minus Q1 Q2. And that is what is the meaning of the minus 1 eigenvalue. And this is, so these two categories of function, it turns out that the universe is built from only these two categories of particles. People have to decide, everybody has to decide, or everything has to decide where they want to belong. There is no middle point, there is no beyond, there is no la la land, there is nothing, but you have to choose one of them, right? Okay, so just wait a second, this room is becoming very hot, I have to ask for the AC. So please. Hello. Hello. Oh. Hello. Security. Okay. So, yeah. So I have understood that what is the meaning of indistinguishability. The meaning of indistinguishability is that the wave function of the composite system or this collection of particles must be either with a +1 eigenvalue of the exchange operator or -1 with an eigenvalue of the exchange operator. Right? The fancy name for this little understanding is that, so there has to be two kinds of particles in this world. So this category is called, what are these called? I'm sure all of you know it. So who can write it? Please write or say. Suranjana, what are these called? Rohan says yes. So this class of particles is called belonging to a symmetric wave function. So, and this class belongs to a, sorry, this one is not symmetric. This one is actually antisymmetric. Okay. And this one is symmetric. So that is what is the condition on the wave function for being symmetric or antisymmetric. So that means now you have, and this little exercise has proved that you cannot have any particle, a collection of indistinguishable particles in this world which will not be either symmetric or antisymmetric. It has to be, the wave function has to be either symmetric or antisymmetric. So, and it also is very easy to see that. So what is the meaning of symmetric wave function now? Because you have all the times used this word. Symmetric means the wave function must be, if you exchange the two particles, not just one pair, if you make the exchange of any arbitrary pairs of particles, the wave function must remain invariant. And in the antisymmetric case, if you exchange any arbitrary pair of particles, the wave function must be coming with a minus sign. That is what is the meaning of symmetric and antisymmetric wave function in this universe. And you know that this actually led to the understanding of the so-called. So now we know that now we can use the terms that we have already familiar, right? But this was the origin of this. So now we know that these particles are called what are these called? What kind of particles are these? Everybody knows it? Please write. What are these kind of particles called in general? Our great scientist is also associated with this discussion. So I want you to write those names. अरे वो लिखो कोई, Piyangshu, why don't you write? Bosons and fermion. Yes, that's right. So So the particles which belong to this antisymmetric category are called actually bosons. And as you can see that this is a statistics which was invented, and you know all the story that our great S.N. Bose actually thought about it and he communicated to Einstein and etc. etc. So we have this Bose-Einstein statistics, and in that connection these particles are called bosons, right? And we have this category of particles which came in the Fermi-Dirac statistics, so we call them fermions. So this is the fundamental nature. So we have bosons and fermions. So everybody has to decide, and everything has to decide where they want to belong. Okay? So this is an additional constant in the wave function of a many particle system. We started the class with this question: what is the additional condition on the wave function that we can add? It turns out that this condition also has to be satisfied. The wave function of a collection of particles that I started in the beginning. So the answer to this is that we also now realize that collection of indistinguishable particles wave function must be either symmetric or antisymmetric with respect to the coordinates of any arbitrary pair. Is that clear? Okay. So now we have understood bosons and fermions. So now we can discuss little bit about what happens to so which category our chemistry belongs? Which category? Most of the chemistry belongs to which category? And physics too. I do not know when did Somolika write. Yes. So you can see that these atoms and molecules, and today is the age of electronics, not today, long times ago. So these electrons are actually the fermions, right? So we realize that their wave function must be antisymmetric. If you have a collection of electrons, the wave function must be antisymmetric. So that is why we have to talk about antisymmetry in little more detail. Nobody is safe from that. Your electron, proton, neutron, they are all antisymmetric wave function, because you are speaking about electrons which are fermionic species. Now very simple, now we can write simple equations like this: Q2, Q1. I have already understood that if it is so, what should I write? Minus psi, Q1, Q2, Q3. For a fermionic species, I can write that, right? Fermionic species, I can write that. Okay. So now let us put some meaning. So until this point, the discussion has not said anything about these Qs. Now we need to look a little bit further. What are these Qs? Okay. So what are these Qs? So Qs are, now we know that, because we have already devoted so much discussion on the spin. So we know that there is something called space and spin assigned to the Q. We can write S, little s. We should not write little s, but we just to denote spin, it should be more appropriate to write ms or sigma. Let us say sigma. So we have a space variable and spin variable, right? So now we are coming to the point of discussing a few things associated with your Pauli exclusion principle. What is that? So I have seen that antisymmetry is represented by this equation. Okay, very simple equation. Now I want to see what happens to this equation if I make, so Q is what? Q is representing the space, joint space and spin coordinates together. That is why we are calling them as spin orbital. Okay. So now what happens to this equation? If I say Q2 is equal to Q1, what happens to this equation? Can somebody tell me? What will happen to this equation if I make this substitution? Yes, psi is 0. You see that? Because EF says Q2 is equal to Q1. So that means psi Q1, Q1, Q3, Qn is plus psi Q1, Q1, Q3, Qn is equal to 0. That means 2 psi, this thing is 0. So you see that that is an impossibility. That is an impossibility without doing any experiment, without doing nothing. Just little discussion tells you now what is the meaning of Q1 and Q2. When Q1 is equal to Q2, what can I say of the system? What is the meaning of Q1 and Q2 in words? What is the meaning of Q1 equal to Q2? Can somebody say in words? Somili, please say. What is the meaning of Q1 equal to Q2? Two particles having same position and spin. Fantastic. So two particles having same position and spin. And now, what does this tell you? That two particles mean two fermionic particles. Now we have made distinction to the fermions. That means our electrons, okay? And many others. So two electrons having same position and same spin as Q1, and this guy also having the same, this guy having the same position and same speed as this guy cannot happen in this world. And that is what is the meaning of this. When you have said an electron in a position, so Q1 means some R and sigma spin coordinates, and R1 sigma 1 I can give, and this guy means R1 sigma 1 also. According to this understanding, this is Q1, this is Q1. Now this is a violation. The wave function of this particle, of this collection of particles, actually vanishes. What it means is that means if you have, that is another way of saying that two electrons having same coordinates means R1. Two electrons having same position coordinates cannot remain with the same spin, which is sigma 1 and sigma 1. You understand? So that means same spin, of course. When we say same spin, we mean, once again to refresh your memory, spin is confused by a lot of people, including you yourselves, by these guys, S and MS. When we say spin, same spin, कैसे नहीं हो सकता है? Electron, सब electron का तो spin same ही है. You have said that electrons are belonging to the spin half particles, right? So obviously all electrons have same S value, which is half. But what I mean here is the spin function, the eigenfunction. That eigenfunction is a function of not S, it is an eigenfunction. Of course it is a function of S, because every spin on this world has a function of S is equal to half. That's S into S plus 1, which is represented by the S square operator, S into S plus 1, giving the H cross square, this much eigenvalue of the S square operator. But what is this? Sigma is actually the function which is the eigenfunction of the SG operator. So that means S square SG, it gives you, so it is actually represented in this state. Half, maybe we can write half plus half. So S, MS, and this is half minus half, the MS value minus half. So this sigma 1, sigma 2 is actually replacing the same MS values. Okay, so that means this spin state is represented by here half or minus half minus half. It could also be half minus half, but that is an impossibility. That means either alpha or beta. So if you put the two electrons in the same position, the two spin also cannot be same, or vice versa. If you put the two electrons with the same spin, means alpha 1 and alpha function and alpha function, then these R's cannot be same. It is all the same. Or if you put this guy also beta function, this guy also beta function, then they must not be the same space. So this is one illustration of the Pauli exclusion principles. Two electrons having same spin, means same eigenspin, eigenfunction, alpha or beta. Okay, two electrons having the same spin function cannot have the same position coordinates. That means they cannot stay in the same house. So now same position coordinates means house, means location. This, you understand? So this is a very simple illustration or consequence of the Pauli exclusion principle. But we are going to look at much more of the Pauli exclusion principle with time. Okay, this is just a preliminary introduction to the Pauli exclusion principle, and we are going to look at it more and more. Okay, so now that we have examined the symmetry in the wave function of a collection of particles, we can now construct our periodic table. We can now construct our periodic table from simple understanding. That means what? That means I will pretend now that I do not know the periodic table. Means what? I know the number of electrons can increase one by one, but I do not know what is their electron configuration. You understand? So that means what? That means for the hydrogen, I had one electron only. So I have only one electron. I said that let that electron be sitting in the house called 1s, which is the spatial orbital 1s. And I said that it can have two spins, alpha or beta. So that means eventually that meant that it can give you 1s alpha, 1s beta spin orbital. When you are writing 1s means 1s spin, 1s spatial orbital. So let us 1s 1 alpha 1. What is the meaning of this? These are the very standard. What is the 1s? That means that means psi 1s. Okay, without the spin function. Okay, 1 means the electron 1. You have only one electron, so everywhere it is 1. These brackets means electron, which electron? And this means the spin function alpha. So that means I could also write 1s alpha, or I could also write 1s alpha. It is all the same. And this guy, the same electron, I can put it in the 1s orbital, but it may have a different spin function, which is beta spin function. So I can call it 1s beta. That means psi 1s is the spatial part, spatial function, and spin function is the beta. So I could also write 1s beta. There are two possible ways to write this function, the combined wave function, right? But both of them will give you the same energy, right? Because Schrodinger equation did not have the spin. So you actually worked with only the psi function. So eventually you have a degeneracy of 2, because two spin states are possible, keeping the electron in the same position. either this or that. That is why it has two degeneracy. So I understand that there is no discussion on antisymmetry, because only one electron. What is there to discuss about antisymmetry? No question, no problem. So one person is very easy, but two people make a whole new world, right? And that is what we see when we just go to the next system, which is having two electrons now. So one is, there is no debate. ठीक है, electron excited हो गया, मान लो electron excited हो गया, you want to do spectroscopy, even there is no problem, because electron go to 2s or 2p or 3s or 3p. So what? You can just replace 1s by 2s 2p. No problem, no conceptual problem. Suppose I put the electron in 2p orbital. ठीक है, I will write this 2p 2p. But then there is no debate. Depending on the energy, it will just occupy the corresponding orbitals. But बहुत सारे problems. Now we have to be worried about बहुत सारे problems. I mean, so many problems. If I have two electrons now, ठीक है, this is my one electron in the periodic table. Done. So now I go to the two electron problem. What is happening? Let us see. So two electron. First of all, I have said that there is a house. There is a house where electrons can stay. Guest house. Okay. So electron 1 stays, just like hydrogen atom. No problem. But the second electron comes. It can give an accommodation to the second electron or not. That is what we want to see. Or the second, he may not be cooperative. He says, no, you stay in another place. Let us not put the arrows, because this electron of hydrogen can be either this or it can also be this, right? Either way is possible, so I just give this. That means this electron 1 can have either of these space or spin. Both of them are possible. Now the second electron is approaching. What will happen? Let us see what is going to happen by means of the Pauli exclusion principle. The question is, can I put the electron in this place? Can I put an additional electron in this place? What is the answer? What is the answer to this question? What will be the answer to this question? Adrija says yes. Everybody agrees that electron can be put into that same location? Who agrees? Yes, we have two degenerate states. I have been trying to explain that for such. This is two degenerate states of what is the name? Tahiti. I am really not very convinced about that, I am not very convinced. But let us see. First of all, say, if many of you says that the electron can stay, not many electrons, Tahiti, you should be more careful about. I know there are many others who may have made more difficult, but two degenerate states kahan se ho gaya? Can you please say? These are the things that one needs the clarification. Where are the two degenerate states coming from? Tahiti?
Sir, in case of while putting one electron in hydrogen, we saw that there can be two spins which are possible. So
one space, two spins. Two spin, right? You mean?
Yes, sir. The two spin states are possible, and alpha and beta.
Okay. But now the hydrogen stopped, hydrogen finished, now another electron coming. How can you easily say that there will be more, there will be two degenerate states? That is the point. हाइड्रोजन के लिए तो ठीक है, But how did you say that that is going to happen for 2 electrons also? That means a system like helium. In fact, if you have studied your angular momentum properly, which we did in the class, we have said that unfortunately helium ground state is non-degenerate. There is no degeneracy in the helium ground state. You forgot?
Yes, sir, I forgot this.
Okay, so now we'll prove it again because everything is connected in quantum mechanics. No? Another electron will have the other spin function. Let us see. So this is your 1 electron in the hydrogen. Now you are bringing another electron. Now Advija says that another electron, what is that called? Another electron will have the other spin function. That means what? Can you please say in words, Advija?
Sir, if the first electron has alpha, then the other one will have beta. That's what I
What
know.
about the space? What about the space function?
The space will be the same. Since the house, like the orbital is the same, so the space function will be the same, but the spin function will be the two different ones.
So that means you are saying that in this electron I can actually put 2, in this house I can put 2 electrons.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that is, of course, that is the conclusion that all of you know. Okay, but suppose, but how do I prove it? Let us see that how do I prove it from the antisymmetry? That is the question. So very good, you have given the answer, the conclusion, but you remember this answer was not very obvious that another electron will come into this house. Okay, there are all these orbitals that you have seen, 1s, 2s, 2p, but we'll now make use of the antisymmetry requirement in the wave function. That means psi q1 q2, I can write that minus psi q2 q1. That has to happen, where q1 q2 is representing the joint space and spin coordinates of the two electrons, right? That has to happen. Now I am saying that, okay, 1s electron means 1s electron with either alpha or beta spin. That was hydrogen. Now I want to put another electron in the same 1s orbital. So I write 1s1, 1s1. Okay, 2 electrons in the same house. I am actually trying to establish the electron configuration. So don't you be surprised if I am not writing 1s2, because I want to prove that it can be done as 1s2. You understand? That's the reason we are writing. We are hypothesizing that another electron can also be there. But the moment you put another electron here, that means you have to make a case that 1s alpha, 1s beta, this guy can also have a 1s alpha, 1s beta. That is what is the meaning in plain simple language. Now let us see what it means. What it means is that means my joint wave function, I now write psi 2 electrons, okay, psi q1 q2 is equal to, I now write, I want to write it in the space function. So that means psi, so 1s1, 1s1. Okay, so I can write it as a 1s function into 1s function, product function, two electrons. I am writing it as a product function. I think we had some opportunity to discuss that why the product function makes any sense, right? So I do not want to start the wave function of this guy and this guy add or subtract or divide, you know. It is rather the product function, because it is the product function which actually satisfies the eigenvalue equation. We discussed that, and it is common sense. Okay, so that means the space part of this composite system is 1s1, 1s2, where 1s means 1s strictly means, now onwards when we write 1s, that means 1s partial function, there is no spin attached. But when your class till 10, 11 or high school, I do not know, these days maybe in high school, you have studied that Pauli exclusion principles. No 2 electrons can have the same set of quantum numbers in an orbital, right? So when you would have been speaking about orbitals, you might not have included the spin orbital. You might have spoken about spatial orbital only. Okay? So, but now we have made distinctions between alpha beta. So this 1s1 1s2 is actually the spatial function of the two electrons, which is my helium. Okay, let us see. So that means I am writing the psi function of helium. I do not know the configuration yet. So I am saying that it is a product function, one space function of electron 1, one space function of the electron 2, and these two space functions are same because I want to put them in the same house. Let us see if they can stay together. Okay? So this is my simple understanding, but then I have to be worried about the electron 1s and electron 2s alpha beta spin, their spin coordinates. So how are the possibilities? Possibilities kya hai mere paas? What are my spin function possibilities? Who can answer this question? Let us see. Space function is 1s1, 1s2. Is there any other combination possible? Advija, please finish quickly. We should finish this. I have written the space function as 1s1 and 1s2. Is any other option possible? If I have the two electrons in the 1s orbital, means 1s house, there is no other possible combinations, right? Now, what about my spin functions? Can you tell me? What are my combinations? How many spin combinations are possible? Four. Very good. So, what are those combinations? Please speak in words, you know. BB. A, B, B, B. Okay. So, I guess you mean alpha, beta. So, I can write alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 1, beta 2, beta 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. I guess this is what you meant, all of you. Okay. So let us see. So this is my understanding. Okay. So let us see 1s1, but what is the condition? The condition is that psi helium must be antisymmetric. That means psi Q1, Q2, Q1, Q2, not S alpha. Remember, when you say that exchange of particles means exchange including the both space and spin coordinates. So that means psi Q2, Q1 must be is equal to minus psi Q1, Q2. That's what I should prove. It is not alpha 1, alpha 2. It is both space and spin. Remember, this is very, very important. And you will see that why it is so. So now I examine this guy, right? So this is what kind of a function is this? Who can symmetric function or antisymmetric function? If I take 1s1, 1s2, every single function in this world, I can examine its symmetry. Say suppose f1, g2, right? If I do that, is it a symmetric function or antisymmetric function? Advija, what is the answer? सृजना, अरे जल्दी बोलो. सुरंजना, रोहन, मधुर, please. Soumili. This is an antisymmetric.
It
Yes.
should be symmetric.
It should be symmetric. Oh, how is that? What is the definition of symmetric? Bolo, bolo. How do I
Sir,
test symmetry?
sir, when we do the exchange operation, we'll get
So you speak in equations now. Yes, I write P12, right?
yeah P12.
I, I want to operate with P12 because there is only 2 electrons or 2
Hmm.
particles.
Yes.
What happens?
F2 G1.
So, did you get back the original function?
No,
Then should I call it a symmetric function?
no, but then it is also not anti-symmetric.
So, but it is just because you are not Tahiti, it doesn't mean that you have to be Adrija, right?
No.
So just because it is not antisymmetric, it doesn't mean nature has told you that particles have to be either symmetric or antisymmetric. It has not told you that functions have to be symmetric or antisymmetric. Not every function in this world is the solution of eigenvalue equation, right?
Hmm.
So it is not necessary that every function, wave function and function may hundreds of billions of distance hai, right? Every single arbitrary function doesn't have to be symmetric or antisymmetric. Do not confuse that. You can create hundreds of infinite functions which may be either symmetric, which may be neither symmetric nor antisymmetric. Is that clear?
Yes.
You will see that just like this function, you said that it is not antisymmetric. Of course it is not antisymmetric because I do not see any minus sign. So kaise hoga? But it has also not given me back the original function, right?
Hmm.
So it is also not symmetric.
Hmm.
So it is neither symmetric nor antisymmetric.
Hmm.
So I cannot take a function like this for the collection of particles. That is what is the point. So I have to learn how to make it symmetric or antisymmetric, and then I'll take the only antisymmetric portion for the electrons. That is what is the deal. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So now you tell me, you please correct it, you please make clear whether these guys are symmetric or antisymmetric. I want you to answer. But the test is so easy. It is even much, it is not a COVID test, Baba. You just operate with the P12 operator. So what will happen if I just operate the P12 on alpha 2? Do I get the original
So
function?
it will be symmetric only.
So what is the big deal? So it is symmetric. What is this?
This will be neither symmetric nor antisymmetric.
So this is neither symmetric nor antisymmetric. You just pick. What about this?
Same, neither symmetric nor antisymmetric.
Okay, what about this?
This is symmetric.
This is symmetric. So now what is this function? Symmetry?
Oh,
Yes, what is this function?
yes, sir, it's symmetric.
So it is symmetric function, right? So what did I get on the table? I get a symmetric space function with a symmetric spin function, symmetric spin function. If what is the meaning of this in the configuration? If I take this combination, we have already said that both the space and spin functions must be either symmetric or antisymmetric jointly, right? So this function is symmetric. I can take this function because this guy has to be either symmetric or antisymmetric for me to accept them. I just cannot take this kind of function individually, right?
Yes, sir.
So I can take this function. Let us see if I take this, what is my configuration? 1s alpha, 1s alpha. You see that? That means if I use this symbolic which we use, that means it is something like this. Same house, but same spin.
Hmm.
What about this?
Same, same.
Right?
Hmm.
And moreover, symmetric into symmetric function, the product function is also symmetric.
Yes.
Which is my wave function? The total wave function is actually the product of the space function and the spin function.
Hmm.
So what do I get as the product function? Symmetric and symmetric. That will be symmetric function.
Symmetric.
symmetric into symmetric. That will also be my symmetric function, right? So it no way satisfies my understanding. You see that? कोई कुछ करने का जरूरत नहीं है दुनिया में. So it completely violates the Pauli exclusion principle. What do I do? But you know that wave function has to be antisymmetric. Product function, that means when I multiply, but this guy, if you want to keep the two electrons in the same house, this cannot be changed.
Yes.
Can I change this? You can make a change.
You can't
You
change.
can make a change to do this. But these are exactly identical. That is why it is symmetric. So this, I cannot play around with this guy. I can only play around with this guy. So the question is that have I exhausted all the possibilities? Where is your brain? Where is your intelligence? Please apply that. Is there anything new that you can think about this? चलो ये तो नहीं हो सकता है, ये तो नहीं हो सकता है. Maybe you can do, what can you do with the spin functions? You can do nothing. तुम कुछ भी ऑपरेट करोगे, it will give you alpha 2, alpha 1. Right?
Yes.
This will give you beta 2, beta 1. But so you really, all your doors are getting closed, you know, just like this, Who Wants to Be Billionaire, right? So this actually is, it's a cul-de-sac, dead end. So you better look at these guys. What can you do with this? Maybe they are not alone good, but maybe you can combine them together. What happens if I combine them together? Suppose I make a linear combination. In mathematics and physics, we have been always using. It's not a socho. What about this guy? I just made a linear combination of these two guys, you know. I can make a linear combination because they are alpha beta eigenfunctions. We have always learned that. What about that function?
That will be symmetric also.
You are 100% sure?
Yeah, that will be symmetric.
What about if I make a minus function?
Minus, then it will be antisymmetric.
So, but this plus function, देखने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, but it doesn't serve my purpose. It's carrying coals to Newcastle, you know. Because I already had symmetric function. तो सिमेट्री अगर लेना ही था तो मैं तो किसी को भी ले सकता था. मुझे क्या चाहिए? यहाँ से क्या चाहिए मुझे?
We want antisymmetric function so that the product is antisymmetric.
Antisymmetric function of the spin only.
Spin only.
So that the overall big thing becomes antisymmetric, right? So is the objective satisfied now? Have you reached your goal? Have you found the eureka moment?
Yes, sir. For the second.
So I can take a,
Yeah.
yes. So you can see that I can just make a combination of these two guys. But not the plus combination, sorry. Not the plus combination, minus beta 1, alpha 2. There will be some normalization factor, etc., etc. But let us not worry about that. So I can make a spin combination which is like this, and then the product function 1s1, 1s2. So this is my spatial part, and this is my spin function, right? So that the overall function psi x1, x2 or q1, q2 is actually antisymmetric now.
Yes.
So that means what? If I can do this, that means I started with this, that I will put the two electrons in the same location or position location. So the condition that you have found out is that same position में अगर दो इलेक्ट्रॉन को रखना है तो उनका स्पिन अल्फा बीटा दो अलग एक नहीं रह सकते हो. Alpha 1, alpha 2 vanished. You saw that because it is not giving you an antisymmetric function. So you must make an antisymmetric combination of the two spins of the two electrons. So that is why we are writing like this. But you see that now, I think Tahiti said that degenerate. Somebody wrote degenerate, right? Let us see if this is a degenerate function. Everything is connected in quantum mechanics. You have to think. I cannot ask you hundreds of questions. So, but let me tell you something. So this function is symmetric, degenerate or non-degenerate? How many possibilities you have? Degeneracy means how many possibilities you have, right? How many possibilities? In the hydrogen, let us contrast this definition with hydrogen. In the hydrogen, you have two possibilities because you had only one s electrons, and then that is the space part. After putting spin, you have written alpha or beta. So that means you had 1s alpha, 1s beta. So 1s1 alpha 1, 1s1 beta 1. So that gave you two combinations, 1s1 alpha 1 or 1s1 beta 1. That is why you had a degeneracy of 2. How many degenerate functions you can write in this case?
Only one over here.
Is there any other way to do it? If you keep this function like this, there is no other way possible. You saw that. So we had 3 symmetric functions and 1 antisymmetric functions. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that means in the ground state, that means if I put the 2 electrons in like this, my ground state is only 1. There is no degeneracy. You see that it also follows from here. Is that clear? Right?
Yes, sir.
So you understood Pauli exclusion principle. 2 electrons in the same spatial orbital. That means it is a symmetric space function. You need to create one antisymmetric function. There is only one way to deal with this. So your ground state. So you have so many conclusions from this exercise. Thank you. So your first conclusion is that it is possible to make an antisymmetric function by keeping the 2 electrons in the same space orbital, same space, provided they are not having the same spin. Because you saw that alpha and alpha 2 completely violates Pauli exclusion principle, or even beta 1, beta 2. Right? So this is my ground state of helium. Right? Now if I go to, say, suppose excited state, what will happen? What will happen? Let us see. Suppose I am taking 1s, say suppose 1s 2s, or 1s 2p, or 2s 2p, or whatever, it doesn't matter. So what is going to happen? Advija, what is going to happen? अरे बोलो Manish, Advij, are you tired?
No, sir. Actually, I can't see. You're standing just.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now you speak. It's all yours. Yeah, so what will happen to these configurations? I want to create a wave function. So you have to answer 2 questions. Whether I can create, what is my antisymmetric wave function for this system? Ground state ke liye humne kar liya. Now we will test your intelligence, okay? So you create the antisymmetric function for these configurations, excited states. Quickly tell me, it takes only 1 minute. You are not thinking. So what is your space function?
So the space function for one electron is 1s and the other one is 2s.
So that is right. So 1s1, 2s2 I want to write.
Yeah.
But is it a symmetric function or antisymmetric function?
It's neither symmetric nor antisymmetric.
So can you take it?
No, we can't
So you
take
just
it.
learn the trick. You just learn the trick. What do I do?
Yeah. So we'll put a linear combination with a minus sign. So 1s1, 2s2 minus 1s2, 2s1.
So that is why did you take minus sign?
So that it becomes anti-symmetric. If we took the plus sign, then it would be symmetric.
Yeah, but you are not you missing something. This is only the space part, Adrija. You have to consider the spin part separately, right? That is why I am asking you to do, so that you understand, the class understand. मैं तो 1 मिनट में लिख सकता हूँ, 10 सेकंड में.
So the spin will be either
You understand
the
your problem.
combination.
You have
Yeah.
said about the spatial part, but your combination is the total function.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to now consider the spin function. What will happen to the spin functions?
The spin functions will be either neither symmetric nor antisymmetric, or it will be symmetric.
But cannot you apply your क्या बोलते हैं? Cannot you apply your previous experience? We just work it out, right? Is the spin function construction different in this case and then this case? Is exactly same, right? 2 electrons have alpha and beta spins.
Yeah. So, but
Alpha
there's
should be
a
exactly same, right?
yeah. Huh.
So use that.
So
ऐसा
there's
क्या है?
a yeah plus.
Beta 1, alpha 2, right? And then you also wrote alpha 1, beta 2 minus beta 1, alpha 2. You wrote these three as the symmetric combination, right?
Mm.
And this is as the antisymmetric combination.
Mm.
So now you tell me, if I have to maintain this configuration, that means 1s1, 2s1, that means the spatial part of 1s, this is psi 1s, this is psi 2s, right? This is psi 1s, this is psi 2s. That means these are two separate spatial functions, f1 g2 minus f2 g1, right? Just like that case. So I do need to take this, or I can take this also, 1s1. That is why I asked you, why are you talking about minus? You could also have a plus sign, no? Your restriction is that individually these can be either symmetric or antisymmetric, but the overall product must be antisymmetric for electrons. You understand the class, the problem?
Yes.
Don't confuse that. Individually they must be either symmetric or antisymmetric, but the product must be antisymmetric for fermions.
Okay. Yeah. So
And
so
so
we
what
can
happens?
take the plus one also. Then
You see how easy it is now. Now let me also make it clear for other things also. So if you talk about bosons, what is going to happen? For bosons, what is going to happen is that this guy must be either symmetric or antisymmetric. This guy also must be either symmetric or antisymmetric. That is, there is no change in that. But the problem is that if you have a boson particle, a boson which is consisting of two particles, the overall product must be symmetric. In this case, the overall product must be antisymmetric. That is the only difference you have to realize. But the individual things do not change.
yeah.
So now you make the combinations to tell me how many antisymmetric functions you can construct. It is so easy.
We can construct two antisymmetric functions.
So let us write 1s2, 2s1, right? I can write the two symmetric and antisymmetric space functions, and I have 4 symmetric and antisymmetric spin functions. Out of them, 3 are symmetric, 1 is antisymmetric. So now, in order to find the total wave function, what you have to do? So psi 1s1, 2s1, right, is equal to, that means x. This includes space and spin. Space and spin. This includes only space. Okay. Now you need to just multiply properly the symmetric. This is an antisymmetric combination. This is a symmetric combination.
So the first one we can multiply with alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. The antisymmetric one we can, and
So I can take this guy with this guy,
yes, and the rest with the above one.
and I can take this guy with this guy. So how many total product function you got?
4.
1 from here and 3 from here. You see that? Agree?
Yes, yes.
And if you now just go back to your class, maybe 10-15 lectures before, earlier, you will recall that 1s, 2s actually gave you 2 terms. One is 3s and 1s. Do you recall?
Yeah.
3s and 1s. And now you identify where is this 3s. 3s means 3, degeneracy 3. Degeneracy 3 means what? And you know that the degeneracy comes from the spin part, right? So these are the 3 component wave function which is contributing to the 3s star, right? And this is the one which is contributing to your 1s star. You understand? This is how the states are split. Is that
Yes,
clear?
sir.
अब समझ आ गया है?
Hmm.
आप सब कुछ कर सकते हो. If you have understood this guy, you can do everything. But it makes sure that you understand. Otherwise, it will be very boring for me to talk in the class. So you understand. So in the ground state, let us write. Okay, thank you. So in the ground state, what did you do? 1s1, 1s2. You had no difficulty because this was a symmetric function, and you simply smartly alpha 1 beta 2 minus beta 1 alpha 2. You had no other choice. So that is for my hydrogen 1 electron, and this is for my helium 2 electron. Okay? So I see that. So that was, of course, this is helium ground, not ground state. Let us write the helium ground state here. This is helium excited state. Okay? Helium 1 stick. Oh, sorry. This is the not hydrogen. This is the helium. Okay? This is the helium 1s2 ground state. Okay? So I see that the ground state and excited state has differences, and that is why you had multiple turns when you went to the excited state. Is that clear? Is that clear to everybody? Adrija has been answering, but everybody understands? Madhur, samajh aa gaya? So this process of Baki sahab, Rohan, is that clear? Suranjana, is that clear? Okay, very good. So make sure that this process of this linear combination, essentially what we have done is called antisymmetrization. If you open your book, you will see there is a term called antisymmetrization. That means antisymmetric नहीं है, पर तुमने एक device use करके उसका antisymmetric बना दिया. And you can see that for 2 spins, it is very easy to do that. Is the 2 electron problem understood? Can you tell me, is there any other possibilities that I have to be worried about excited states? और कुछ हो सकता है क्या combination जो हमको सोचना पड़ेगा in terms of symmetry? I can write infinite combinations, right? I can write 2s2p. So can you work it out now from this exercise? Or anything you need to, is there any new idea that you have to learn, or we can do it on the basis of this above discussion? You can do it now 2s2p. Advija, you can do it 2s2p. Yes or no?
So in this case, the 2p we have not mentioned whether it will be 2px, 2py, or 2pz. But if we mention that, then we can do it.
Yeah, 2s2p means 2s. You can take 2s2px. You can take 2s2py, 2s2pz. That much is, of course, mean. You can do that, right? Just
yes.
So that is why, so there's 2s2px and 2s2py and 2s2pz doesn't make any difference. They will be all the same. Do you agree to that?
Yes.
So if I take 1s2p or 2s2p, remember, just because simply you have a possibility of x, y, z, which are giving you all the same answers because px, py, pz are equivalent. So that means from each of these, you are going to get what? 4? This will give you 4?
Yes, sir.
This will give you 4? This will give you 4? Right?
Yeah.
What is the degeneracy?
12.
12, right? This 12, just like here, you can also split into 1. For each 4, you have a 3:1. Don't you see that? Each of these 4 will come into 3 and 1 branches. just like here.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you will get 1 3 1 3 splitting. Splitting means, that means 1 1 1. These three will be degenerate. These three and these three and these three. That means these 9 will be degenerate. Agreed?
Yes.
So that means, that is why when you have broken this, you have seen that this gives you two terms. One is 3p and one is 1p. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
The 3p means actually 9 states. Go and look at your books.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand how the 9 states are becoming degenerate.
Yes.
बाकी सबके लिए कर सकते हो. Now I make it anything 2p3d. So what? So 2px, 2pi, 2p is same, and you have 5 d orbitals. So you can construct for each of them, but each of them is going to give you this 2p3d. Even if I take, for example, what will happen? यहाँ पे बहुत सारे combinations होंगे, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे combinations, but they're all degenerate, right? But at a time, you have a possibility like this. At a time, you will get only 4. Out of which one of them will be this guy and the other 3 will be like this. Is that clear? सबको clear है? Who doesn't understand? Shiv Kumar? Ryan? Okay? Who has any question? Yeah, so
Sir,
Malika.
can you explain the degeneracy once more? This
Degeneracy.
degeneracy, yes, the degeneracy part.
You understood this part?
Yes.
Very good. So 1s2bx, so 2s2px is also like 1s2s. Why? Because the procedure is exactly simple, exactly
Yes.
straight. 2s2px, if I just can replace s by px,
Yes.
what will happen? You see that in your eyes. मैंने 2px लिख दिया. Right? The remaining portion is same. 2 electrons spin is alpha beta everywhere. Right? So I got
Yes.
2s2px 4. 2s2py, I will also get again px, I will write 2py. So of course, I need to write these guys as ps. And you can see that in terms of number, they will not be very different. Right? So I can write 2py, 2pi, 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 again 4. And then
Yeah,
2p, again 4.
Yeah, that was 12.
12. Now within that 12, 2s2px is going to split into 3 and 1. Remember, I had a symmetric and antisymmetric. I made a combination like this. I mean, Advija made. This guy gave you 1 antisymmetry. This guy gave you 3 antisymmetry. 3:1.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
so
sir.
this x gives you 3 and 1. Y gives you 3 and 1. So x gives you 3 and 1. These 3 are degenerate, right? Y gives you 3 and 1. Z gives you 3 and 1. X, Y, Z, they are all degenerate. So 9, 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. And that is what is the...
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So now you can do it for every single 2 electrons, right? In this world, there is no other possibility.
Okay.
If you just think about it, there is no other possibility. Only 2 possibilities which we just covered.
Yes.
Okay? Okay, very good.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else has anything? Okay, so I think, so next, now the big question comes, what will happen to my 3 electrons now? So we did construct periodic table in a very tiny possible way. What is that? We did come to the conclusion from first principles that hydrogen can have an electron configuration which is called 1s1. That means 1s1 electron can stay in the 1s orbital with the understanding that it may have alpha or beta spins. That is what is the electron configuration of hydrogen, which gave me a term called 2s. Helium, the next electron, we have seen that I can write the configuration of 2s2. When you are writing this configuration, that means you are talking about the spatial orbital. But the understanding is that two electrons cannot have the same spin. Alpha 1, alpha 2 is prohibited. Beta 1, beta 2 is prohibited. What is allowed is that you can make a linear combination of the spin functions of alpha and beta of two electrons. Alpha 1 beta 2 plus beta 1 beta 2, beta 1 alpha 2, or alpha 1 beta 2 minus, alpha 1 beta 2 minus beta 1 alpha 2. But because this guy is symmetric, so I must take only the antisymmetric spin configuration. And that gave me only one wave function. There was no terms in the ground state of helium, remember, because you could not produce an antisymmetric, you could not produce an antisymmetric space function. Your space function in this case is symmetric, 1s1, 1s2. So you had only one antisymmetric function, alpha beta minus beta alpha. Because this function is symmetric, you do not have any possibility of any other combination in this case. Okay? Because the other spin functions are all symmetric, S1, S2, S3. उसमें तुमको फायदा नहीं है क्योंकि symmetric function multiplied by a symmetric function will be a product which is symmetric, and that violates the Pauli exclusion principle. So I cannot take that. So for helium, I am able to write the electron configuration was 1s2. That means two electrons can be put into the same place. So now the next question is that this is now verified. Now I will bring another electron and I will try to put that electron in the same orbital. And in the next class, we are going to see whether that is possible or not. We will not assume that it is 1s2 or something else. So in the next class, we are going to discuss the 1s3 configuration. Whoever may be able to represent that, if at all possible. So please come out with some working, that will help us. So yes, tomorrow we'll discuss this configuration of lithium, if it is there. Okay, so if there is no further question, we'll call it a day. Okay? So I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock, okay?